What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Brand new show alert. Philly Sports Unfiltered is here. We're talking about all MLB Hall of Fame, Philly sports, and whatever you got. Giddy up. Welcome in, everybody. This is A2D Radio and a brand new show for you. Philly Sports Unfiltered. I'm Tom Arnone. That's Tony Cutillo. We're back, baby. We've been talking about this one for a long time, Tone, and we finally made it.
We finally made it, man. Like, you know what's great about this, and it's going to be fun, is you say it's unfiltered, right? And I'm going to give everybody a little history lesson, because there'll be a couple people out there, a little fraudulent people that are probably going, oh, you know, what's going on here? Listen, let's be honest, man. Like, this starts probably like 7-8 years ago, where Tom was inviting me to the garage over to Jersey, be like, yo, man, how do we get you over here, brother? And then listen, man, you know, some things happen. A couple people move, they do this and that. And I'm like, oh, this guy, Tom, he's always yelling. And no, I want nothing to do with this dude, man. He's crazy. But this is what happens when you get old, man. When you get older, you get wiser and you understand. You're like, you know, it's a mutual respect you have with people. It's like, this dude's been laying the groundwork for years. And here I am trying to go through different teams and trying to do different things. And finally, it's like, look, man, let's just take the two worlds, the two titans, combine them up. And I'll tell you this, Tom, and I think you're going to agree with this. So as this goes on, I'm going to put it out now, man. Like, this is like an 8-mile battle. If there's any duo out there at Got a Show that want to come on and battle the TNT guys, man, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to roll.
I was born ready. Came out the womb ready. I know you did too. And it's gonna be fun because we're obviously gonna keep a lot Philly sports, but we'll touch on all sports because that's just what we do. But we'll give you the state of Philly radio towards the end of the show. Ooh. Revitalized NBA playoffs. Hey, you juice back up? Did it bring you back in? Did the Sixers getting a 3-pick draw us back in? We'll touch on that. And our main topic at hand is Pete Rose reinstated, and it ties into our poll question, and you can vote on it. And if you want to become the sponsor of our poll question, you can just contact us and we can make that happen for you too. Our poll: Pete Rose, Barry Bonds, and Roger Clemens should all be in Cooperstown. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow, join the conversation. Tone, I'm not leading off for you. I'm not leading off for you. I'm passing the bat along. All right, I'm taking the walk and I'm passing the bat along here. And I probably threw you for a curveball right there, too.
Man, you're passing the bat.
Roger Clemens curveball.
You know what? I have felt differently about this numerous times. And Barry's my guy. Like, before I would say Barry's my guy. And I'm so excited to hear your idea of this, because you teach the youth, man. You're a coach. You're a baseball coach. You're an instructor. A lot of people would always tell me, hey, he cheated the game. He did this. He did that. My whole thing with this, and let's just call it away. Let's first Pete Rose. Listen, I think it is a cop-out for Manfred to come out now and decide that now all of a sudden it's easy to say he's reinstated. He puts this rule in. And I know a lot of this was because of Pete Rose's family hired an attorney, hired people to literally get after this and make this happen. But my thing about Pete Rose, for everybody that's bitching and complaining and saying he bet on baseball, he's going into the Hall of Fame as a player, right? He didn't affect the game as a player. And for you to say that you were afraid of him getting into the Hall to hurt the integrity of the game, which I heard that's why some of those fraudulent writers were opposed to this. Tom, I still think Shohei Ohtani cheated. Okay, I think that whole thing got swept under the rug, man. The Major League Baseball is like, our boy toy cannot be a fraud. And I look at this and say, there's no way he could have actually did any harm to the game. And he should have been in from day one, man.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, Barry's always been my guy. Barry's a top 10 player of all time pre-steroids. So when people don't understand the competitive juices to get to that level. Does that mean in any shape or form do I condone it? Absolutely not. That's not the conversation. The conversation is baseball allowed this to happen for years. They wanted it. Okay, so McGuire and Sosa going to a little home run parade, and if I'm Barry Bonds sitting at home watching that, I say to myself, I'm 10 times the player both of these guys are. So you guys want to have fun, play stupid games, win stupid prizes? Here we are, and I'm going to hit balls to Alcatraz like he did. So all he went from is a great five-tool all-around player, first ballot Hall of Famer, to Godzilla. That's all that took place. He just went from great to I can never get you out. That's all.
Right.
So it didn't change his greatness. Now, I can hear the tarnish of legacy, steroids. If baseball wasn't allowing it and it wasn't going all through major league clubhouses, then I hear you. If he was the only guy that was doing it to try to get an advantage, then I hear you. But it doesn't make you hit a ball. It doesn't make you hit the baseball. What it does is there's dog days of summer for a reason, and it takes those away. That's all it does. It takes away your arms getting tired and things like that. Now, Pete argued we could be a creep off the field, right? I don't know. Okay, I wasn't there. I wasn't there for that. All right, nor was anybody, I guess, besides the people that might have been there. Like you said, you nailed it. He's getting in as a player. He's not getting in as a manager. So, and he bet on his own team. Again, not condoning it, but this was brought to you by DraftKings. So, I mean, what are we talking about? And Roger, same conversation. Roger's a first ballot Hall of Famer pre any of these types of things happening. So they should all be in Cooperstown. And if baseball wants to have something in that plaque saying the steroid era, fine. Be my guest. Okay. That was a part of history. So we can't erase what was a part of history. There's my rant on it. All three should be in. They're all Hall of Famers. And listen, if those guys aren't Hall of Famers, who are?
I agree. Because, and I'll give you my last rant is we cannot have levels of cheating. So I've heard this before, right? Because there's guys in there, Piazza, Jeff Bagwell. Stop. Anybody see Jeff Bagwell? Tell me he won all rooted up. Like, give me a break, man. Give me a break. So my whole thing with this is you nailed it with they allowed to happen. And the guy that allowed to happen, and Bud Selig, was lining his pockets with money, and he's in the Hall of friggin' Fame. So how can the guy who allowed it to happen be in a Hall of Fame, but Barry Bonds is getting blackballed and Clemens is getting blackballed? And for all the morons and the idiots out there that talk about, oh, he's just big and that's how you hit baseball, do me a favor, go back and listen to a couple interviews that Barry Bonds did to explain the element of hitting, and maybe you'll get an education. And you'll understand that this dude is GOAT. It's greatest of all time. In my opinion, I don't care. You said it. Listen, you want to put an asterisk? I don't care. It's fine because there were so many players. We can get into so many players in the Hall of Fame that have done worse. That was not mandated at that time. They allowed it to happen. It is what it is. Now, like you said, it's different. If you're going to tell me there's not levels of cheating and cheating is cheating, well, then fine. I got to deal with it. But you can't tell me, well, this guy just did a little bit. Ty Cobb just did a little bit. This guy, no. We don't want to hear any of that, man. Like, there's either cheating or not cheating. And unfortunately, you can't have levels. So those guys got to be in, man. 100% those guys got to be in. That's my take.
We're going to put are we going to go back and anybody use pine tar on the mound?
Yeah.
Are we going to take them out of the Hall of Fame? Like there's always been trying to get competitive advantages. If we agree or disagree with, it's a conversation for a different day. But when you talk about the talent of a player and did these guys commit these major crimes off the field to keep them out? No. I mean, Pete Rose, you say whatever you want about him. Again, right, wasn't convicted of anything in terms of the stuff with underage girls. Wasn't convicted, right? Rumors, reports, when there's smoke, there's probably fire. I'm the biggest advocate of that. But at the end of the day, he wasn't convicted. So what are we holding him out for? Speculation? What possibly happened 40 years ago, 50 years ago? We can't operate like that.
No.
We can't operate because then we tarnish guys. And now we can talk about what he might have been, not been. What he was a great player. What he was Charlie Hustle, right? We look at the big leagues today and we look, guys, don't run stuff out, don't hustle. And he was the epitome of hustle. And now that guy's not in. That's what makes me mad. Lenny Dykstra couldn't talk enough about juicing when he came on A2D to one night, right? Yeah. These guys, it was out in the open what these guys were doing because they were trying to stay in the big leagues. So you had the lower level, bottom of the end clubhouse guys trying to stay in the game. So if I'm the best player on my team, and I'm watching my entire guys around my locker room do it to try to get a competitive edge, then I know other guys are doing it too to get a competitive edge. So why not at some point would I just say, hey, jack me up? I'm not condoning it. Like,
right.
Barry was a superhero. I mean, it was ridiculous, actually. McGuire and Sosa were really good and hit a bunch of balls. Barry, you couldn't even throw it. I mean, you were intentionally walking them like the lead off an inning. Like, we're not going to pitch him, just put him on.
So, hey, some guys needed a refund though because they took it didn't work. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like Brady Anderson got 1 year. You know what I mean? Like, after that was it. It was over. You know,
cool story. Never heard from him again. Right? That you nailed it. To that, there it goes. So what? Could they stood up in front of Congress and didn't tell the truth? Who does? Who does? Congress stands in front of Congress and doesn't tell the truth. So now we're going to die on this hill. Come on, people.
Crazy, man.
Would you go up there and honestly say you took it when you know it's going to blackball you? No. No lawyer in the country is going to tell you to go in front of them and tell them the truth about it.
Proven till innocent, right? Innocent until proven guilty. Right? I mean, it's the letter of the law, and you don't just come out and admit it. Maybe you get a plea deal. Who knows? But like, we really have to stop this monotony and just give it up, people. All your baseball purists and all these guys. Let's redo the people that vote. I think it's a travesty that Barry Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame.
Well, you know why?
Yes, Pete Rose, I get it. But this whole, you know what? Honestly, Todd, to me, it's more about, again, are we voting the player in or the person? Okay, because Barry was kind of a prick, right? Everybody said this guy was ignorant. He was arrogant. So now all of a sudden, this is the way we're going to get back at him? Like Pete Rose, like you said, all these I don't really care. I'm not voting for him, the person. I'm voting for him, the player. And that is the problem with this. All this bias, all these personal narratives, these agendas. That's the problem with baseball, man, when it goes to the Hall of Fame. That's the problem. A quick story. I saw Jason Stark about 3 months ago, and I talked to him live, and one of the questions that in the audience that was asked was about Barry. And he specifically, and Jason was like, listen, this was the best player I've ever seen play ever. He said, was he a great guy? No. But guess what? I'm not voting for him, the guy. I'm voting for him, the player. And I think that's where it ends.
Well, that's why Jason does a great job, right? Yep. There's guys that don't have an agenda and they don't have a job to do. And there's other guys that say, woe is me. He didn't answer my question the right way back in 1988. Like, grow up. I mean, let it go, dude. Because you're 4'11" in a clubhouse and nobody respects you, okay? With your pencil protector on. All right? No, of course. Like, these guys aren't going to respect your stupid questions. We've been saying it for years that half of these guys are big time sheets that have no feel for the game. They just can write well. And there's levels to this stuff. So whatever. But these guys all have agendas, and that's what's wrong with it's exactly what's wrong with Cooperstown and everything that goes on voting wise. Because at some point you're gonna be getting guys that are 240 career hitters that hit a ton of home runs that are getting in the Hall of Fame. That's what's gonna get to. Give it 20 years.
Exactly.
Some of the guys you see get selected in the Hall of Fame that are not Hall of Famers.
Nope.
Because
not at all.
The game is obviously changing in the wrong direction. And not the right direction. But yeah.
I agree, man. I agree 100%. I think that's our spin. Again, as always, agree to disagree. Let us know. Vote, comment. I see some people are back and forth, but we see Greg absolutely agrees. He says absolutely. He's all in, right? Which is good. We know that. But listen, you mentioned about, pivot a little bit here. We'll go to another sport and we'll talk about NBA. And, obviously with the Sixers getting the third pick, and I think we all know the Mavericks pick, it's all fixed. I don't know if you happen to see, did you happen to see I will say this, I'm addicted to reels. So I will say I need help, but I watched a reel with Shaq. And did you see this one where he talked about what David Stern said to him when he was a rookie? Mm-hmm. So Shaq meets David Stern. Shaq was like, look, because she was on with Ashley Neville, and Ashley asked him about being drafted, and Shaq's like, "Look, I'm going to be honest." He's like, I met David Stern. He said, "Oh, I can't wait to get you in the NBA." And he asked me one question. He said, "Do you like cold weather or hot weather?" And Shaq was like, "Hot weather." And he's like, "I don't even know what he meant." He's like, that year, Charlotte was projected to have the number 2 pick. Minnesota projected to have the number 1 pick. He's like, all of a sudden, I'm watching the draft lottery. He's like, Minnesota gets number 3. Charlotte gets number 2. And guess who gets number 1? Hot Orlando. He's like, and I'm thinking, is that a coincidence? I don't know. So I look at the draft and I'm like, whatever. But just from looking at the NBA and the style of basketball that's been played in the playoffs, I'm a huge 90s NBA guy, always have been. I'm not saying I hate the way the game has changed, but I do like how physical they've been. I do like how competitive they've been. I'm crying every time I see Hallie on the court if that was true that we could have got him for Ben Simmons, but a story for another day. But I look at it as a question of if this is really this dynamic and this much of a change in the playoffs, and the NBA, normal fans saying the regular season means absolutely nothing. What the hell can the NBA do? I mean, the only thing I can think of is they take half the teams that make the playoffs, say we're only going to have a 4-game playoff. Like maybe make these teams play during the regular season. Because if not, why would you even watch a game?
It's true, because the regular season has died in the NBA, and players know it, fans know it. That's the worst part of their product. But it's definitely been revved up. Playoffs have been good
and great, man.
I think you draws us back in a little bit when we're able to, get the 3 pick and sort of feel like we're doing 2 things at once, where we still have the opportunity to win games, but we also have the opportunity to rebuild at the same time, which is nice. So as much as it was good to be in the top 3, you say to yourself, well, how are we not 1? Right.
Yeah. Right.
How did we not get 1? And the NBA has an agenda too. They've been doing it for a long time. There's a reason that they make more money than anybody else. And it's because of stuff like this. They come out with their 2-minute reports telling you everything they missed in a game that they were trying to miss anyway for reasons. So the NBA, we see right through you, babe. All right. And we know that's a make-up call, because we're going to get Luke at LA to sell more tickets. And that's why that deal happened, because there's no way any general manager's making that deal. Okay. So that's a handshake agreement from the league. You get him over here, we'll get you AD back, and we'll get you number 1 pick of the draft. And here we are. It's amazing stuff.
It really is
amazing stuff.
It really is. And it's not going to change, man. And it's really not. And now I still can't. I'm still getting over the fact that we were watching an NBA lottery this year for the Sixers, man. Like I don't know, and I don't want to get into a big Sixers conversation, because I know you guys covered it the other night on Wednesday night. But real quick, did you catch? And I don't know if I'm the only one. Nobody mentioned it. I just happened to listen to a lot of Daryl Morey speak, and he mentioned the word "if," and I don't like that. He said, "If Joel comes back," literally, it's quoted. If Joel comes back. What? Like, am I missing something here? Like, I already know the injury's terrible. Okay. When they're talking about taking it's like, what was that operation game? Or like, oh, we're going to take a little hand bone on your thigh and put it on the, like, what are we talking about? You look at the guys that have been microfracture surgery, Amari Stoudemire, never the same. Obviously Tracy McGrady, never the same. Listen, this is Joel Embiid. This is a big dude. And to hear Daryl Morey say, if Joel comes back, I'm confident he can be the player. I don't know if anybody heard that. I heard it. I saw it. And that scares the shit out of me, man.
Yeah, I didn't hear the if. I definitely did not hear that. I guess, if he's just being an honest guy for once and maybe telling us a little bit of the truth, I'll take it.
For once. It'd be nice.
We don't get a lot of it. But I think we know what we're in for. And I think we know that there's that opportunity that he's never the same again. But I also think that we can still, if he is healthy-ish, and then we can come into a year saying, well, we have an opportunity to win if everybody's healthy, but we have an opportunity to get younger and better at the same time. Not a lot of organizations have that opportunity.
Right.
Not saying that's where I want to be.
No, you're right.
In this weird spot, but who else in the league is in that mode right now? Like who else? San Antonio, maybe, sure, but they're young, right? They're young. We don't know what they are. There's not many teams, but that is weird that they said that. That he said that. If
I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it, but I'm with you. I mean, we are where we are, and unfortunately, all we can do is hope that whoever we pick is going to turn up and, Maxey, and maybe we get a year out of Paul George. I don't know. But my whole thing is watching these playoffs and watching some of these teams, watching the OKCs and even Golden State before Steph got hurt. Just watching these teams, I'm going, Indiana, like we can't even hang with these cats, man. Like I don't even know, like what can we do to even hang with these cats? So like we're just wasting away the next couple years anyway. So it's almost like I'm looking at this going, oh, you know what? See you in 2027 because that's kind of like the next time we're actually going to have a team that maybe we want to watch. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but that's the way I feel, man.
Yeah, it's all on him, right? I mean, I can't even say it's all on him because if you get a healthy Paul George, which never happens. And you get Tyrese Maxey and you get the number 3 pick and you have McCain and you have some good pieces. Like you can be competitive, right? You can be competitive in the Eastern Conference for sure. Now, if he's healthy, it just changes everything, obviously. But that's the biggest if in the world, right?
Right, exactly.
Period. Even without Darryl saying it, it's a big if.
Always the big if. That's always the big if.
I'm just thankful for that pick, right? I'm thankful to be in the top 3 and have this opportunity. And why not us for once? Why can't we hit on the generational guy? Why can't we finally get a guy that doesn't come with everything extra? We're due. And if you look over the history of a lot of home runs hit at 3. Yeah, a lot of home runs at 3.
That is true. No, that's true, man. That's definitely
I think he's
true.
taking a Howie Roseman approach. And I'll leave this there. But he's taking a Howie Roseman approach. Let the board fall to you.
Hey,
okay, I'll call San Antonio's bluff all day right now.
I will say, as much as I'm not a huge fan of what he's done, but if you look back to the Houston days, he did rebuild that team. So, look, hopefully it works. I don't know. I still think, like we all do, the downfall is always going to be that Jimmy Butler year, and that should have been the year, and the double bounce or whatever the hell you want to call it. That was our year, man. That was our chance, and now it's over, man. Now it's over, and now we have to just hope. Now we just have to we hope and pray, man. We hope and pray. The Phillies are it. The Eagles, look, man. The Phillies are the Phillies. I know we'll continue to talk. We'll talk about some Flyer stuff another time, and but let's talk about this because this is why we've actually started this, right? We've talked about let's change the narrative. And we always hear the people say, Philly radio sucks. The radio in this town is terrible. Although those people are still turning on. The same people say it sucks are still turning on. They're listening from Joe from Mayfair and, Highway Bob or whatever, right? But, and you just see people getting cut and laid off. And why you would want to make that your career, I don't know. It's such a volatile business. But, looking at the entire landscape, man, the reason why we decided to do this is because we want to give you that alternative, but just to change that narrative. So, if me and Tom or Tom and I, or whatever way you want to call it, we give you a really good style of entertainment, I think that you're going to tune in. The problem with Philly radio is it's so predictable. It's always predictable. Like we knew the schedule release going to come out. So everybody's talking about what's the schedule? Who are we going to be, right? We already know the votes. Some of it is just unlistenable. I do have my favorites on each station, but let me ask you this. Were you shocked that they let Tyrone go?
No.
Me neither.
I said it to somebody the other day. The second you get nasty with callers is the second you're gone. So that started to happen over the last few years, and it's gotten worse and worse, where he was just standoffish to anybody who called in. Right?
Do you think he? Because I agree that he got like that, but the thing is, I feel like he felt the need to get like that because I think the show wasn't working. And he produced for Missinelli for so many years, and they're definitely not fans of each other, but he also saw that Missinelli approach worked. So I feel like that was his last ditch effort, because if you heard him say he knew this was happening anyway. So I feel like this was his last ditch effort to say, you know what, maybe I could turn this around. I don't know, but it just, listen, I respect his grind. I say this all the time because the guy's been in the business for 20 plus years, and he started at the Jersey at like 920 out there in Princeton. I mean, like, nobody freaking listens to, right? So he has that. But as soon as Missinelli came back, dude, I was like, there's no way Missinelli's staying at 10 a.m. Like, there's no way. Like, he's definitely going. You can't tell me that Connor Thomas and Ricky Bowe are going to hold down that slot, that they're getting crushed at from 2 to 6. There's no way.
No. Yeah, I mean, like I said, nothing surprising in the radio world with these guys. And I respect his grind for sure. I wasn't a fan, but that's okay. Like, it doesn't take away from respecting his grind. But that's not drive time radio to me. That's not what it is. It's not entertaining enough. I don't think he's as versed as a lot of guys are that you need to be on drive time. Like, you can't just be one-dimensional or two-dimensional. Like, when you talk baseball, you need to know it.
Yes.
You can't lie with baseball knowledge, and I think that's a problem with a lot, with them trying to fit it in. And what they did is they did it wrong, because, like, you get what I'm saying. They just did it wrong. Like, you can't hide. And I know you got to be a big Eagles guy, and I even think I don't even know if he knew he's a basketball guy, which is okay. But I don't think even, like, his football knowledge didn't turn me on. His baseball knowledge was not there, right? It was Ricky Bowe, and that's it. Because nothing against Hunter. Hunter's baseball knowledge isn't there. Okay, I mean, I'm just going to keep it real. I'm a baseball guy. His baseball knowledge isn't there. There's really one guy on all the platforms that actually has some baseball knowledge, and I don't even really like that guy. And he's on 94.1, but he's the only one that's like a baseball guy, air quote. Right. So besides Ricky, obviously,
right?
Ricky, they run Ricky wild. I mean, I don't know how Ricky has time to breathe. Right?
I know.
I loved it. I loved it, and I talked to Ricky because we do. The company we work for, I work for, he does a pro instructional series that him and like Ben and all them come out to. So I like Ricky. Ricky's a great guy. But Ricky's in a tough spot there. I mean, that's not again, those three guys aren't drive time together. It doesn't work. Their personalities never meshed.
No.
Not like 94.1. Like they mesh well. Like Ike and Jack.
And I'm not an Ike fan at all. I mean, a Spike fan. I'm not a Spike fan.
Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. We know where you got your job.
Zero. But he does mesh well. I kind of like Fritz. Like,
me
I like
too. He's quirky. He makes jokes. He keeps it light.
And it's organic too. I don't think he forces it. That's just
Ike loves it. And Ike eats it up, right? So that's my days of listening to them a little bit. Like Ike eats him up. It like loves laughing with him. I think it keeps the show loose. And
I agree.
That's what people want to listen to, man. I ain't listening to sports radio all for your opinion, right?
Exactly.
I want some laughs. I want to keep it light, and whatever, they do a good job, those guys. So I keep it real with that stuff. I mean, even though I feel like if 97.5 hired us tomorrow, I think we will crush their ratings. But that's not for me to decide, right?
I don't disagree, man. Like, I'm not. Listen, man, I am not being cocky. I'm being confident. No bullshit, man. I completely agree with you 100% that if that were the case, I think that we would absolutely crush the ratings. Like, now, all due respect, I'm not saying that if we go head to head with somebody, but I'm just saying at that time on that station, I think it's inevitable. I mean, there's just no way. There's no way. But again, they don't want guys like us, man. That's the problem. Because we're opinionated.
Well, I know, because I did something, and I'll tell the people that I think it's funny because I want no parts of it, right? But I'm a test guy. I like to test things out.
Yep.
So buddy sent something to me, and I would never do it. And he's like, "Oh, they're hiring," right? And I was like, "Oh, let me play a little game. I just want to play a little game. If you even got the balls the send an email back or say, hey, we'd love to meet with you. Right. I just want to see. I just wanted to see. I would never take it. I love what I do. So I'm in no room to take it. But I was just curious. A curious kitty. And I was like, I think 2 weeks ago. I was a curious cat. Because obviously in the resume it says A2D Radio and obviously says other things I've done, but that was the key to it. And I was just curious if you're smart enough. That's all. Right. If you're even smart enough to make the call. Because if you were smart enough, you would say, well, this guy's done something for over a decade now. This guy was live streaming a decade ago. Nobody even knew how to do it on social media platforms. I don't need a cookie. I didn't invent the wheel. I'm not special, right? And then COVID happened, and it drained what podcasting is. It killed it. And I don't care what anybody's got to say. Everybody can have a mic in front of their face. It's equal opportunity for this stuff, right? It's open for everybody. But now everybody thinks they can do it. And they don't know what it takes. They don't know the grind. They don't know nothing. I haven't been paid to do it in over 2 years. Not even $1. I've actually lost money because that's how much I love it. So think about that. Think about that to everybody out there. Because Facebook's a goddamn joke, and I'll say it out loud. I don't care. And they want to steal people's money and not pay you. All right. Instagram, same way. They're a joke. All these platforms are a joke. All right. And it's become, well, if you played the sport, now I want to listen to you. What? Yeah. You guys are morons. I don't care you played it. Like we say it all the time. The guys that play at the highest level can't teach it. So what makes you think that because you played at a high level, you can talk it? And I love that that's people's approach. I played every sport in my life. So did you, I'm sure, right? Played a lot of different things. I know the games. I didn't need to be in a pro clubhouse to be able to break down baseball to you. And anybody thinks that you need that, they're the dryer sheets. They're the morons that keep running back to it. The same in the baseball world. If you need the guy because he played a certain level and you think that's going to get your kid there, you're an idiot. Because I want to know the guy who grinded it. Because that's the guy I want to go to. I want to go to the guy who had to work his ass off to get any type of success from the sport. Not the guy I came easy to all the time. Because how's he going to teach it?
Think about it.
Came that easy to him.
How many MVPs do we have as Major League Baseball managers? There's a reason why guys like Craig Counsell are great, Matt, because they grinded. They knew what it took. Mark DeRosa. That's why you watch Mark DeRosa on MLB Network. He's amazing. Awesome. He was a superstar. Like
Mitch was great too, right? Mitch was great on MLB Network and great on A2D in his time here. Mitch is a family member of A2D, and he was awesome on MLB Network, and he was a really good coach. I know people gave him crap because he was passionate out on the baseball field. That became a thing now where you're not allowed to have energy out there. It's, woe is me. But at the end of the day, that's the point. How many backup catchers are really good managers? Right. How many backup quarterbacks are good head coaches? So the point is that the guy comes easy to isn't necessarily the guy that can translate it, and it doesn't mean he can't either. It's not an automatic. Exactly. And I'll one up you too. You know, I'll tell my story because I'm the same as you. Like I like to test the waters, right? So this is I got a call and a response, right? You're gonna like this one. This is comical to me. So it's comical because I look at the resumes just from a visual of a lot of these hosts, right? So at the time, I have my own show on Sirius, which is a national friggin' radio. I got a spot on VSIN, which is a national friggin' radio. Okay. And I'm doing my own stuff at the same time. And by the way, run my own media company, NPR company. And I got told I don't have enough broadcast experience. And by the way, we think you're a little too powerful. And I said, excuse me? Like, yeah, we think you would just you would talk over the hosts and, you wouldn't be able to, I said, well, then put me by myself. I said, I run my own show by myself. I'm not sure. I said, I could run circles around half these people. Nah, yeah, we just, your experience isn't up to it. Really? So national radio doesn't count, right? So give me a break, man. They want who they want. That's all. They want who they want. And why can't you be powerful? I mean, we were both powerful for 35 minutes right now, and we didn't talk over each other. No. We went back and forth. That's how you're supposed to do it. I love you want the missionary. That's what they want. Just say the same spot, honey, every night. That's the guy they want. Okay, and that's
no,
fine.
No reverse cowgirl, bro.
No, don't spin her around Morgan Wallen one time. Like, come on, goodness gracious! Like, is it? And they haven't. That's the problem with them. They haven't seen, like, it's right in front of their face too. When you talk about an ESPN brand of what Pat McAfee has done for the brand of ESPN and the raw, unfiltered conversation, which was frowned upon on 5 years ago. If you ever talk like he talked on that kind of station, and now it's the norm.
Exactly. No,
100% worried about.
Oh yeah, we know that. How
many corporate dollars am I going to lose if I got a guy a little too?
Let me ask you this, because I think this is unfiltered, right? So we're going to go off the rails a little bit, and I figure it's a good way to end. But I used to do a thing called the Jigsaw Chronicles, where I'm a very opinionated person, just like yourself, and there's certain things that just bother me, and I would always give stories. Like I got a lot of stories, and I gotta ask you something. Like today, I had a break in my day. I do a lot of different work, different jobs. So I want to ask everybody out there. I asked you, you're in Jersey, so I know they're out there too. But this whole Costco experience, right? Like I cannot believe. Like, you have a Costco by you?
Yeah, somewhere around here. Yeah.
All right. The whole thing is an absolute shit show. Like I don't understand. I think people, they actually take vacation days to go to Costco. Like the van pulls up, the whole family, the kids are out there because we got to get the free samples, right? Everybody got to get the freaking free samples. So now nobody knows how to run a shopping cart because we're running over. Let me get the free piece of pizza, or I got to get the $1.50 hot dog, right? And the whole thing is like, I just want to go in there and get a couple things. And now all of a sudden, I got people. This new thing I saw today, that nobody pushes the cart behind it. Now they walk beside it. So not only are they looking like an idiot, but now they're taking up 2 lanes of traffic in a place that's already crazy, right? So it's just like the Costco experience to me is enough to just want to blow your brains out. Like if there's anybody out, like I just want to get in and get out, right? Want to get in and get out. You just can't get that. And I just don't, the infatuation with the free samples to me is it's just like it's like they open a door and they're running to the free friggin' samples. They can't get enough, man. It's crazy.
It's amazing. I got a BJ's down the street, which is
I love BJ's.
Yeah,
I feel like there's never a class. Well, I think
well, I don't know. I go through that parking lot sometimes, and it's a nightmare in there.
Really?
All hours
I'm
of
the
the
opposite by me. BJ's great. Costco, forget about it. It's crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I haven't gone in either one in a while, so maybe I gotta spin in.
You gotta go right. Yeah, you're right. It's gotta, and I do. Like, well, midday, forget about it. Like, that's the thing. Like I said, I think people, they take off work to go to Costco.
They do. You got BJ's day. We got BJ's day. Everybody.
It's insane. Yeah, BJ's. Yeah, we all want BJ's day. That's a good day. But
yeah, it's a great day.
Yeah.
It's great. He's more of a Sam's Club guy.
I like Sam's.
Yeah, maybe it's just the Costco experience in itself, right? Maybe it doesn't.
Man.
Maybe it doesn't go to BJ's and Sam's Club. Maybe it's like the Walmart.
It's something, man.
Depending on where you're located, because Walmart's a nightmare too sometimes. Depending on which Walmart you're at, right? It depends. Like some Walmarts are great, some are nightmares.
The checkout is terrible because self-checkout should be like 5 items or less. And then you got the morons with 2 carts. You can't even fit in the lane. And they're going, they don't know how to scan. They don't know how to swipe. They always need help. They don't know to put the thing on the side. It's like, come on, man. Like, we're such a stupid society.
Morons. Like, and I was in it today. I had to run the Whole Foods. I had to make a quick stop. I actually went into work and was like, oh, shoot, I need to go grab something. And I had like 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh, it's literally 7 minutes away. This is perfect. I'll be in, out, and I'll be back in no time. And I go in there, I grab the 2 things I want. I go to the self-checkout. And to your point, there were shopping carts full. And luckily, like the one person in front of me who had a good amount of stuff was like, hey, you can go in front of me. Go ahead. Because they saw I had 2 little things. So
we actually nice person.
Yeah, nice. Actually nice. But everybody in front was loaded to the gills. And I'm like, you got people right next to you. that are willing to do it. What are we doing here?
I don't get it, man. I don't get it. That's why my jigsaw ran for the day, man. Costco is just a nightmare. It's such an experience, and I want nothing to do with it anymore.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Well, listen, great show. Great first show. Philly Sports Unfiltered here on A2D Radio.
Just a little start, a little taste.
Yeah, a little just to, just give you a little taste and see if you want more. I'm sure you'll be back. That's Tony Cutillo. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, we thank you for joining us for our first episode. We'll be back next Thursday night. So make sure you turn on your notifications, hit the like, subscribe, stay with us. Stay with us forever. Any closing thoughts, Tone? Besides Costco?
You know what, man? Not right now. Phillies. I guess maybe we could close on my closing thoughts on the Phillies, man. I just need going to Pittsburgh. I need 2 out of 3, man. You're going to face Skeens, right? So I want to already chalk that up to a loss, only because I think the guy is amazing. So I got to give him 1, right? But look, 2 or 3. If no matter what happens, as long as we can win series, I'm happy. But what happened with Arnone is mind boggling to me. So I'm about time to just bring Painter up and give him Nola's spot, to be honest with you. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, if I'm Arnone, I would complain of some shoulder soreness to give myself a little 10-day IL stint and just to clear the brain, because he's fine. I'm not worried about Arnone, but I think he could use.
Good point.
Sometimes you could use that break. I mean, he's pitched at a high level for too long. He's just in a funk. I mean, he was in the funk a little bit last year too, at the beginning of the year, or it might have been 2 years ago, just arm slot stuff. So, I mean, hopefully he can figure it out. But sometimes like I tell my guys and my players, sometimes you got to shut down for a week, man, and catch your breath a little bit, right? Sometimes I know you want to grind through everything and get through everything, and every hurdle this sport gives you, but sometimes it's okay just to get right back up to it.
Yep.
Get right back up. Well, great show, brother. Ton of fun.
Agree.
Ton of fun.
Yeah, bro.
We'll see you guys next week. Love you all.
Make sure you tune in.
We out.